We are back with a Fox News alert. President Trump intervening on behalf of 3 U.S. service members accused or convicted of war crimes. The president issued pardons to Army officers Matthew Goldstein and Clint Lawrence and restored the rank of Navy SEAL Eddie Gallagher, a highly decorated special operator who worked tirelessly to clear his name after being accused and eventually acquitted of war crimes last July. Chief Petty Officer Eddie Gallagher joins us now. Chief, thank you so much for being on the program. Congratulations. Your initial reaction when you got a phone call from the President of the United States that you're going to get your rank back?
It was pretty surreal, to get a phone call from the White House and have them tell you that the president is on the line for you. So I had a feeling that it was coming because, the president has shown the nation that he's been a man of his word this whole time since he took office. And it was just overwhelming. It was a feeling of joy and gratitude to be able to speak to him and to hear what the decision that he was making from his mouth.
Chief, can you share a little bit of what the president said to you?
Sure. He was very easy to talk to. He got on the phone. He cracked a joke with me. He saw me at the Veterans Day Parade in New York in the crowd, and then he proceeded to tell me that he thanked me for my service and then told me that he was going to be restoring my rank back to Chief Petty Officer and also expunging everything from my record so that I could retire honorably, and that, basically it was like this thing had never happened.
Boy, that's an even bigger thing, to expunge it all and say, hey, like this never happened. You're going to get an opportunity to retire if you so choose, with all the honors that you've earned through your service to our country. What does he understand about your situation, about our warfighters, that brings him to make these kind of decisions, do you believe?
He knew a lot about my situation and knew a lot about all the injustices that went on during this whole ordeal that I went through. We talked about, the prosecutors, Chris Chaplack, who was, spying on my defense team. He, said that if that would happen in New York, those people would have been arrested. And then he also went into, Corey Scott, the SEAL who stood up and took ownership of what really happened. Pretty much, he told me that he wanted to instill confidence back into the warfighters of our community that were, going over there and doing the job, and he didn't want them second-guessing themselves, and he wanted them to know that, he had a president who had their back.
It's amazing. You mentioned all the warfighters. Well, as you know, First Lieutenant Clint Lawrence was released from prison the very same day, got a phone call from the president, as well as Matthew Goldstein, Green Beret, also got that phone call and was cleared. We had Matt on the program yesterday. Here's what he said. Listen.
I think it sends a clear signal that the President of the United States is paying attention, that he's not going to be backed off by, institutional elements of the DOD that are going to try to retain their ability to do certain things and force outcomes and weaponize the military justice process and then hide behind process.
Do you feel the same way? Do you feel like the military justice system is in some ways broken?
Oh, it definitely is broken. It's a system that needs to be fixed, and that's what I plan on doing when I finally retire. I'm going to start a nonprofit and help warfighters that are going through similar ordeals that I went through, and then also use that as a platform to speak out on justice reform in the military.
Very cool. Continue to give back. Hey, briefly, if you would, Eddie, how's your family doing? How's your wife after all of this?
She is overjoyed. It's like a huge weight that is just taken off our shoulders. I don't think that it has fully sunk in since we got the news yesterday or the day before yesterday. We're still sort of on cloud 9 about it, but I can tell you that my family is completely grateful for this decision. And then we are I'll be returning back to work tomorrow. Putting in for retirement. Unfortunately, I'll be returning in a defensive posture because I'm expecting full retaliation from my command.
Wow. That is, will keep us posted if that indeed happens. They're messing with the prerogative of the Commander-in-Chief. Eddie Gallagher, thank you so much for your time this morning. And I want to note we'll have Clint Lorentz on the program tomorrow. More Fox and Friends on the other side.